As political parties gear up for the November 20th provincial and parliamentary elections, alliances of convenience to lock more wins with parties that contradict their own political ideologies have surfaced. Despite their poles apart stand on citizenship bill, the alliance between CPN-UML and Janata Samajwadi provides just a case in point. Good morning, I'm Sarah Sapsanamma. Let's begin with the top stories of the hour. The 9th National Games to be officially inaugurated today. Last hour rush and other mismanagements highlight Sports Council's indifference. 4 ministers of Janata Samajwadi Party sacked from the government. Janata Samajwadi all poised to relieve alliance ministers from Madhya province in retaliation. Political parties ignored democratic norms in their pursuit for win at all costs. Analysts say latest political trend detrimental to parties in the long run. And Abdul Latif Rashid elected Iraq's new president, ending months of political deadlock. Rashid immediately nominates Mohammad al-Sudani as the new prime minister. Prime Minister Sher Bahadur Dewa has relieved 4 ministers of Janata Samajwadi Party from the government. The move has come after Janata Samajwadi Party forged election alliance with opposition CPN-UML. Janata Samajwadi's Rajendra Shrestha was the Minister for General Administration. Muhammad Istiaq Rai was serving as the Minister for Physical Infrastructure and Transport. Pradeep Yadav was the Minister for Forest and Environment, while Mrigendra Kumar Singh was the Minister for Agriculture and Livestock Development. Responsibilities of the 4 vacant ministerial portfolios have now been assigned to Prime Minister Dewa. Meanwhile, in retaliation, Janata Samajwadi Party has made preparations to relieve Madhya province ministers from parties in the ruling coalition. In a different context, with the end of the term, responsibility of the Ministry of Law, which was previously soldiered by Govinda Prasad Koirala, has now been assigned to Minister for Communications and Information Technology, Gyanendra Bahadur Karki. Now, a political culture that is based on policies, principles and ideologies is a major component of democracy. However, even with the nation embracing federal republicanism, Nepali political leaderships have ignored their own principles and prioritized winning at any cost. Formation of electoral alliances between parties that are at sharp contrast in ideologies for the coming general elections is yet another evidence to this malpractice. Janata Samajwadi Party's Sahasra Ram Yadav in Kapilvastu, who had left for the election office to file candidacy with the support of CPN-UML, had switched allegiance to Nepali Congress by the time he reached the office of the election officer. Such an instant change in candidacy raises questions in terms of political culture and ethics. However, such instances have unfortunately become a regular trend in Nepali politics. In another context, Kamal Thapa, who has for long been a vocal supporter of monarchy, has now formed alliance with the largest communist party of the country, CPN-UML. Many eyebrows have been raised as UML chair and a staunch supporter of republicanism, KP Sharma Oli, has welcomed Thapa in his group. UML's standing committee member Prabhu Shah kept his ticket until the 11th hour before filing as an independent candidate in Rohtahat. The move has left Rohtahat without a UML candidate. UML and Janata Samajwadi Party have formed an electoral alliance despite being polarized on several issues, including the citizenship bill. The ruling coalition shares a similar story. Parties with contrasting ideologies and stance on federalism, Nepali Congress, CPN Maoist Centre, CPN Unified Socialist and Rashtriya Jana Morcha supporting each other highlights parties' game plan of win at all cost. Experts and analysts have been terming this nature of the mainstream political parties as against political culture and principles, which will be detrimental in the long run. Candidates for the November 20 provincial and parliamentary elections have started their door-to-door campaign after the Election Commission assigned them with their election symbols. With just over a month remaining for the voting day, the candidates, strangely enough, do not have their election manifestos yet. Despite forming task forces for preparation of the manifesto, the mainstream parties have yet to finalize their agendas, which has posed obstacles for the candidates to convince the voters. In the absence of manifestos, including parties' official commitments, candidates of political parties are currently busy interacting with their voters with verbal assurances. This has led to some difficulties for the candidates in responding to the queries of the voters. Major political parties Nepali Congress, CPN Maoist Center and CPN UML had initiated preparations for election manifesto by forming task forces immediately after the declaration of the poll date. The parties had collected recommendations from experts, members, leaders and their cadres. But with the formation of alliances and election equations being the priority, development of manifestos has not been in the list. Meanwhile, voters do not seem to be in a mood to pay much interest to ambitious assurances presented by the parties in the manifestos in the previous elections. However, the voters still look for the manifestos of the parties and candidates that include their official pledges. In our Public Voice segment, we've asked people in several provinces regarding the agendas that need to be incorporated by political parties in their election manifestos. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
देशको समृद्धिका लागि गर्ने योजनाहरू प्रमुख रूपमा चाहिँ घोषणापत्रमा समेटिनु पर्ने
उहाँहरूले एजेन्डा मात्र नबनाइकन कार्यान्वयन पक्षमा पनि लागिदिनु हुन
युवाहरूलाई रोजगार दिनुपर्छ
कृषकहरूलाई गरिब दुखीलाई जनजातिलाई दलितहरूलाई सबैलाई समेटियोस्
पूर्ण समानुपातिक व्यवस्थामा मुलुकलाई लैजान्छौं भन्ने प्रतिबद्धता सहित
दलहरूले यो बाटो छिटो निर्माण गर्दिन पर्यो र सहज गराइदिन पर्यो
क्याम्पसहरू भयो विद्यालयहरू भयो यिनीहरूलाई पनि तपाईको चाहिँ एउटा चाहिँ वैज्ञानिक शिक्षाको रूपमा चाहिँ त्यसलाई त्यहाँ समावेश गर्नु पर्यो
Increasing interest rate, unstable price of crude oil and the Russia-Ukraine war has heightened global inflation. International organizations have been projecting further complications for the world economy in the coming year 2023. The scenario is more likely to increase inflation in Nepal with additional pressure on already declining foreign reserve. Issuing a report on the 25th of September, the World Bank had warned of a global recession. As per the report, the population of the least developed countries are to be worst affected. A month later, the International Monetary Fund stated that the global economic growth rate would be limited to 2.3% in 2023, which is 1% less than that of 2022. Nepal will stand no exception to the impact of such global economic transformations. In addition to the supply system ruined by the coronavirus pandemic, the Russia-Ukraine war has had severe impact on Nepal's exports. Meanwhile, the value of US dollar has increased, the cost of finished goods and services, including raw materials, which is certain to hit Nepal. The Federal Reserve of the United States of America has increased the interest rate to 3.25%. The USA aims to curb the inflation from 6.22% to 4.4% by the end of this year. This is likely to further increase the interest rate. To curb such impact of such situations, economies like Nepal must increase domestic production to become self-sufficient to some extent. Many other large banks of the world have increased their interest rates as well. A number of central banks have also produced strict monetary policies to control money supply. However, as the current situation is relatively different than those in the past, the world economy is likely to deteriorate further, and it is imperative for the government and related stakeholders to grow alert and plan accordingly. For the sports update. Vice President Nanda Bahadur Pun is to officially inaugurate the 9th National Games at Pokhara Stadium at 4 p.m. today. Amid criticisms of mismanagement, the National Sports Council yesterday organized a press conference and assured that the tournament will be a success. Council's member secretary Tankalal Khising added the tournament will be grand by the presence of the athletes and sports professionals. Vice President Pun is inaugurating the event in the absence of President Vidya Devi Bhandari due to health reasons. Coordinator for the inaugural ceremony, Ekendra Kuwar, has said the ceremony today will have performances representing culture of all 7 provinces, including dance performances by departmental teams. A total of 6,102 athletes will be contesting in 36 sporting categories for 393 gold medals, 393 silver and 600 bronze medals. This is the second time Pokhara and Gandaki province have hosted the National Games. Matches under 7 more sporting categories have been scheduled for today at the National Games. A total of 17 matches will be played, including men's volleyball, boxing, taekwondo, tennis and shooting. In the inaugural match under men's volleyball tournament, Nepal Police will face Karnali province. There are 3 departmental teams, 7 provincial teams and 1 NRNE team competing in the volleyball tournament. The 11 teams have been divided into 4 groups. Likewise, taekwondo matches have been scheduled to take place in Myagdi Covered Hall. Taekwondo tournament will be held till 19th of October in Myagdi. Baglung Covered Hall will also host ITF Taekwondo today. Tennis tournament will also begin at Pokhara Stadium today, and the semi-covered hall in the stadium will also host boxing matches. The stadium will also host basketball and full-contact karate starting today. Cycling event will also take place today, while shooting event will take place in Sadhobato, Lalitpur due to lack of infrastructures to support the sport in Pokhara. Prior to this, the men's cricket tournament had been held in Kathmandu. Women's and men's football, hockey, women's cricket, handball, chess, women's volleyball and golf tournaments have also already been held in several other districts ahead of the event's inauguration. Fencing that too began ahead of the inauguration will complete today. The official inauguration of the 9th National Games has been scheduled for today. However, the mega sporting event has been hit by controversies due to poor management. Despite a 2-year delay of the event, the National Sports Council has failed in ensuring its proper management. Infrastructure and sports equipment have not been made available until the eve of the official inauguration. Men's hockey under the 9th National Games was scheduled to begin in Pokhara earlier yesterday. However, when the participating teams and the spectators reached the Gauri Shankar Sports Ground in Himja, the playing field was yet to be prepared. Women's hockey tournament, which was scheduled to begin at 7 a.m. yesterday, was delayed as well, as the players were not provided with the jerseys on time. There were some disputes in the men's football match between Province 1 and NRNA due to confusions regarding the players. The National Sports Council has been holding the women's cricket tournament on a pitch with a carpet on it. These are only a few examples of mismanagement of the mega event, which is being organized at an investment of over 600 million rupees. The model of the National Games in each province was introduced with the objective of promoting construction and development of infrastructures throughout the country. However, the National Sports Council has failed in living up to its responsibilities. There is a need to hold many events outside Gandaki province. Despite the organization of the mega sporting festival in Gandaki after a hiatus of 39 years, the Sports Council failed to ensure the ownership to the province. Meanwhile, the council has been rejecting any lapses in the pretext of adverse weather conditions. More than 6,000 athletes have reached Gandaki to compete for 1,386 medals in 36 disciplines. However, many of them are not even aware of the venue and timing of the events that further highlights the lapses of the council. And it's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion. The question is, what do you term the failure in completing preparations for the 9th National Games until the 11th hour? Your options are A. Sports Council's indifference, B. Inadequate time, and C. Delay in budget release. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.